Well, good morning and welcome to another virtual assembly. It is Thursday and I am Mr. Dykeshorn and I just want to welcome you to our assembly today. You know, with the new lockdown measures, I've had a lot of time to think back and reflect, and one of the things I was remembering was a story about me and my grandfather, and it's actually a story about right before he kicked the bucket. And the last thing that he said to me before he kicked the bucket was, "Hey grandson, look how far I can kick this bucket." Okay, I promise that's the last dad joke for the day. And on that segue, I think it is a perfect time for some devotions. And last week we met our new school counselor, Mr. Peterkin, and he shared with us that he actually does some spoken word, and he was gracious enough to share spoken word with us today for devotion. So take it away, Mr. Peterkin.
Good morning, TD. My name is Andrew. You saw me last week. I'm your school therapist. They asked me to do a spoken word piece, so I've done this before. So yeah, I'll do it for you. I've been burdened for far too long. This heavy bag I carry wears me down, and I cannot carry it any longer. But I must, you see, because it is tied to me. Locked to my skin like a lesion, these lesions of flesh burning, hate yearning, painful memories will not leave me. I've tried to forget them. Drinking, smoking, eating, and they won't leave. For when I turn, I see them. When I look in the mirror, they appear before me. Everything I do to destroy what is written in this bag, these books, these lists, results in only more being written. Like a flying squirrel, I see them take wing, entering this heavy bag and crushing me. This must be my end. Death would be sweet, and I long for it. But I'm afraid to do what? I'm not the only one. I see many, the same bag, they amble in constant pain, crying, screaming, teeth grinding, they continue. And so far where they stand, they beg a memorial for all to see. Even now I watch as many appear, as many crawl, slaves to the parasitical hosts. But wait, I see groups of men and women surrounding a mountain. It keeps increasing and rising. And they fall with tears, but not tears of pain, of joy. And they leap for joy. They go and speak to others, and some seem to listen and struggle following the path to the mountain, until their baggage is one with the mountain. Some walk away, but the ones who go, they're filled with joy. Nothing else has worked for me, so I must try. The mountain rises as I come closer, and I realize under all this baggage is a man who bleeds, who strains under all this weight, and yet he's able to stand. He is able to endure. This man is so great. I do not believe I should approach him, but he looks and he smiles. He stretches out his arm, and even though bent over, removes the bag from me. It hurts so much. I do not feel like I should let go completely. But it's better for me to give it up, to surrender myself, much like I surrender to every addiction. He smiles again and says, "Stand." And I do. Everything is gone. And I feel the burden has truly been lifted. I look at him and I cry. Look at his burden, our burdens. But with his hand, he wipes my tears. He says, "I only have one thing I ask of you. But this I do not want to hear. I do not wish for anything else but to be empty of what had crushed me." But he tells me, "Be still." For his desires that I'm filled with his love and to show that same love to others. To tell people of the one who took the pain away. And I do. I will scream his name from the rooftops. I will let them know what this man on the mountain with the man with the mountain, the pain, sorrow, and agony has done. What he has done for us. For even though I did not know him, he loved us and gave up himself for all.
Well, thank you for sharing that talent with us. We look forward to being back in a building with you. Again, reminder, if you need to get in touch with Mr. Peterkin for any reason, or you want to chat, that you can go through Mrs. Dendrink on Edsby to do that. I'm going to pray, and then we'll move on with the assembly. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you that we are safe and warm in our homes, and that we have the technology to meet like this as a school. I pray that we would continue to reach out to each other, to our friends, that we would continue to learn, and thank you for our students, and thank you for our staff as we do that here at school. Continue to keep us and our families safe, and thank you for being our rock and our ever-present strength in times of trouble. I pray this in your son's name, amen. All right, so moving on in the assembly, we are going to watch a quick video that was put together by Mr. Hoving. and it explains one of the fun initiatives that we've got going on here at TD, even though we can't be in the building, and that is a hockey pool. So take it away, Mr. Hoving.
Hey everyone, Mr. Hoving here. As you've seen in the announcements this week, we've been promoting a hockey pool, just something fun and different to do. Anyone can join. It's pretty easy. You just pick a player from each box, so just a fun thing to do. Again, the link is in the announcements each morning. Take a look there and you can see to join. You do need to get your entry in by Friday night at 11 p.m. as we'll start tallying scores on Saturday. Again, send me an NSB message if you have any questions, but looking forward to having you out there and then just a fun thing to do together.
Well, thanks, Mr. Hoving, and hopefully a lot of you sign up for that. It's going to start on Saturday, so get your teams in. Well, last week we had a live riddle of the day, and Kyla Bim was the winner of the draw. So Kyla will get you that prize once we're allowed back at school. Don't worry, we didn't forget. But here is another chance to win. So just like last week, if you answer the riddle, send me a message on Edsby. If you cheat, you're only cheating yourself. So use your brain and hopefully you get it. All right, here's the riddle. What goes into the water black and comes out red? What comes into the water black and comes out red? There is your riddle for the week. All right. So last week we also kicked off a new segment called TD Christian's Hidden Talents. And a few of you sent in some submissions, but we are still looking for some more. So make sure that you check out the Edsby announcements for the link to there, and we'll see yours next week. But for now, here are some more hidden talents of TD Christian.
Here, probably get 6 feet of air. Oh boy.
Well, there you go, and that segues perfectly into something that's coming up in March, and I know that seems like it's far away, but it will be coming up quite quickly, and that is the TD Christian Talent Show. We don't know exactly what it will look like this year, but we do know that we will need to see your talents, and we still want to have a talent show this year. So think about what you might offer and what you might be able to showcase, and more details of that will be coming up shortly. Another thing that I want you to keep an eye out for is the first ever TD Christian virtual trivia night. So we're working on that to put something together there where we can create teams of families or friends and compete for the coveted first TD Christian trivia trophy. So these are some of the things that we're hoping to do to keep school spirit high, and we are looking for lots more ideas. So if you have something that you think that would work despite this remote learning or the lockdown measures, then I would love for you to send me a message on Edsby, and I would love to work with you and try and come up with ways that we can stay connected as a school community. Well, we're going to wrap things up today with a poem that was written by one of our grade 9 students. And like all of the best poems, this is written by an author who would like to stay anonymous. So, by Anon, here is a poem by a grade 9 student.
I can only imagine being in the NBA, being a famous YouTuber, living in a mansion or on a farm, getting married, having no kids or having 20. All of these things that people imagine, dreams, but not always reality. I can only imagine. Your life isn't always going to be how you imagine it, but that's okay, because with imagination, you can only see a small part of the big picture. It's developed layer by layer. Imagination is like dancing on a tightrope. It requires a certain amount of bravery, because you are going to fall off the wire sometimes. I can only imagine. The thing about imagination is there are no rules and no judgment. Your imagination is yours, and yours only. There are about 7.8 billion people currently living in this world, but everyone is different. We all have different looks and lives, but we have something in common. We all sleep. No matter if you're living in a slum or in a mansion, you sleep. Therefore, we all dream and we all imagine. Imagination is something that we all need. It keeps us going in the toughest of times. I can only imagine. I can only imagine the world without COVID, the world without racism, the world with a murder rate of 0. Imagination is a knife. You can use it for good or evil. I can only imagine what heaven will be like. No pandemics, no racism, no murder. Imagine how wonderful it would be with the Father. Use your imagination knife for good, not evil. But when you come across the obstacles that are put in your path, most of all, you can only imagine.
Well, that's it for today's assembly. Short and sweet, but we know that you have a busy day of learning ahead and a work day tomorrow. So I hope you enjoy that time to catch up on your work. I know that teachers are busy preparing for the end of the quad and looking forward to quad number 3. And we are just really, again, thankful that we have a space like this where we can meet. So have a great day and a great weekend, and we will see you next week.